Graceful. Oh no. Oh! G'day guys, welcome to another episode of our Z31 300ZX build. In this episode, we're going to be pulling out our single cam VG30 and putting in something a little more potent. The single cam might have been good enough for listening to Lynyrd Skynyrd in 1987, but it's not going to cut it for what we want. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's glued on.
Oh no.
There we go. Genuine Nissan, man. Definitely no exhaust leak there. Yay! In the trash. Coolant. Rust-Oleum.
Someone take a piss in it after a big night.
So just give her something like that. That looks more and more like a race car the more we take off it. That smells, man.
Yeah.
My cats do shits that smell better than that. These are the wires that are going to be important. Like just if I personally would convert it to carburetor, yeah. Convert everything to carburetor and put carbs in a Tesla for good. You thought it was an ugly engine before. Oh no. Oh, also no wonder it ran like shit. Someone's just taped that back on. The hose is broken, so he's electrical taped a hose that's full of oil.
Perfect.
They really screwed the pooch. Come on, too much silicon. Way too much silicon. Is there even a gasket? Oh no, there is. It's just made of silicon. Holy shit. Holy shit. What the f? Wow. You're right. Yep. Oh, we have so many more things to show and tell. Can you see it's just like collected down the runner and it's like made a mold of the runner out of silicon. Look at that. What the f was someone doing? It's ASMR, Z31 style. Ripping shit out. Muscles and bones recover, it's fine. Ah! So we've removed everything from our VG30, or at least we're pretty sure we've removed everything from our VG30. It was a bit of a pain in the backside, like any typical early 80s car. Everything was a half-assed afterthought, and there was a plethora of bolts that definitely weren't put there by Nissan. Nonetheless, everything's off now. We've got our transmission mount out, and it's just held up by a jack at the moment. And we've just put our crane on our engine, ready to pick it up off the engine mount. So we're gonna lift it up slowly. Just make sure we're not yanking on anything we happen to have missed and get it out. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing without a motor. All right, Sambo, let's do it. There should come a point where it just kind of...
Yes.
There you go. Just bump the hoist. More. Yep. Just kick that leg towards me. Yep.
Push your hand.
There we go. All right. Just give it a jack. All right, we can walk straight out with this now. All right. As you've just seen, we got our engine out. It all went pretty smoothly. So now it's time to clean up the engine bay. while we've got the opportunity, and then on to seeing how easy it is to fit our new engine. It's crap, isn't it?
Now, if there's one thing I love, it's a stitch up. Now, James said he loved these old pop-ups, so I took it upon myself to remove all pop-up functionality from the car. So this is what we've ended up. Now, this is my little sprinkling salt-based style of four-wheel drive essence into this vehicle. The light is now fixed down, and we're using a Steady 3303 Pro light bar. It's the same one I use on the front of the 80. It is absolutely magnificent. It's super hardcore, super heavy duty. It's going to pump out a heap of light for those nighttime evening races, and they even have a steady blackout cover. So when we don't need the light, we can pop the cover on. It's going to look super sleek, and you'd never even know they're there.
Morning guys, how's it going?
All right, today we've got a really big day ahead of us. I've got Benny from Benny's Custom Works here to lend me a hand. Benny, thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries.
This morning, we're going to be putting our VG30 DETT and its Z32 gearbox into our Z31 project car.
It's the wrong engine.
All right, step one for us has been cleaning up our engine bay a little bit. As you might be able to see, we've added some heat protection onto the firewall. 20% of the reason behind that is the heat protection, 80% of it is because it looks race car. The next step for us is going to be mounting our Mantic clutch onto our flywheel that we've just had machined down the road. And then we're going to be bolting up the gearbox to the engine, lifting both of those up onto the engine crane and hopefully slotting it into its hole. Benny, we've talked about it already, mate, but it's a bit of an interesting engine choice, I know, and probably not what most people would have selected.
Yeah, why did you guys stick with the VG30?
We've been asked that so many times by just about everyone we've spoken to about the project.
Yep.
Part of the appeal comes with the VG30. It's nice to kind of stick with the VG30. It's just a better version of what the car comes with. I do kind of like the VG. It's a short, stout little engine, 3 litres of motor, and we get to move that 3 litres quite far back.
Yeah, I guess the Z32s are known for a lot of packaging issues, but it doesn't seem to be a problem with this car.
No, I think it's going to be all right in this engine bay. It's a pretty large engine bay, although I have heard all of the Z32 horror stories. I haven't actually experienced it myself, so there may be time yet to have.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky to avoid all that Z32
I've
carry on.
People actually refuse to work on them, right?
Yeah, what turbo have you selected?
It's a Garrett 3576 GDX Gen 2.
Yeah, nice.
Really cool piece of kit. Obviously, you know, Garrett at the forefront of turbo technology. We do sell a lot of them. They're fantastic pieces of gear, so I'm really excited to actually use it on the VG and, you know, see how it performs.
Although this chassis came with a VG30 factory, we haven't actually used the original Z31 mounts. So the engine retains the Z32 aluminium horns, and we've gone for a E30 or an Escort rubber mount for the engine mounts. Then for the transmission mount, we're actually using a Z32 rubber mount on the Z31 crossmember, and that's bolted straight back into the car. So although this is later generation VG stuff, it's gone back into this car relatively simply.
All right, so it's come time to put our fuel rail in our Z. I've got some E85 safe fuel hose here that we've put on. I've got our 1000cc side feeds in our rail with our early to late adapters. Now, I've already changed the O-rings on our injectors, but I've got the outer ones here. These are Viton seals. That's important because these are made to be used with vehicles that run on ethanol. So that's important. As you can see, Viton. We got these from Z1 Performance in the States. I know there are a few places that do them for Z32s, and you can usually buy them to suit most injectors, but if you are going to run E85, spend the time, pull your injectors out, and change the O-rings for ethanol appropriate O-rings. It's this sort of stuff that people don't do. They just don't realise, I don't know how corrosive or aggressive ethanol is. It would be absolutely mad not to spend, you know, the couple of bucks and do something like this and just, you know, future-proof your O-rings like a goofy goober. I also haven't done up the clamps on the new fuel line just to allow it to kind of like sit comfortably. And I can do them up after the fact. All right.